Hey, friend, welcome back to the Special Kind of Motherhood podcast. I'm so glad you're here today because we're going to be talking about something that every mom can relate to, and that is mental recovery. We hear a lot about self care, but let's be honest, most of the time it's presented as bubble baths or spa days, which sounds great, but they really aren't practical whenever you have little ones running around just needing your attention 24/7, or even if you have bigger kids and you're going various places with them. It can just be really hard. So, what if I told you that mental recovery isn't about just resting? It's actually about helping your brain to function better. And the best part, there are simple, doable ways to make that happen in your everyday life. Let's get started. Welcome to the Special Kind of Motherhood podcast. This podcast is for busy moms who want to feel their best and create a healthier home without stress or confusion. If you're ready for simple, practical tips to boost your energy, nourish your family, and make wellness a natural part of your everyday life, then you're in the right place. From easy wellness hacks to natural living tips, my goal is to help you to take small, manageable steps that lead to real, sustainable results. Because taking care of yourself shouldn't feel like just another chore. Let's dig in. So let me start by telling you about a moment that really hit home for me. It was one of those mornings where everything went wrong. The kids were fighting. Breakfast was spilled all over the place. The house was just a mess. By noon, my brain just felt completely scrambled. I caught myself just standing in the kitchen, staring off into nowhere, completely blanking on what I was even doing. Have you been there before? The mental fog, it's just this exhaustion that goes beyond feeling tired. And what it is actually a sign that our brains are overworked and under-recovered. And just like our bodies need rest after a workout, our brains also need recovery too. So let's talk about it. What is mental recovery? Maybe you heard me say that earlier and you were thinking, I'm not even really sure what that means. So let's talk about it now. It's not just about clearing your mind. It's actually about how well your brain functions and repairs itself. So studies on centenarians, which are people who live past 100, have shown that even though neurodegeneration happens over time with age, some people's brains are more resilient than others. Why is that? It's because they have built habits that support their brain health. And here's the kicker. Mental recovery really isn't just about mindset. It's physical too. The foods that we eat, the way we move, and even how we manage our daily tasks all play a role in how well our brain is able to bounce back from stress and exhaustion. So let's start in with food because what we eat fuels our energy levels and it also helps our ability to think clearly. So focusing on eating enough protein and healthy fats is extremely helpful because it's going to build and maintain brain structures. So think of things like eggs, salmon, nuts, seeds, and avocados. Micronutrients like B vitamins, magnesium, and omega-3s are going to be very essential for healthy cognitive function. If you're low on these, you might notice yourself having more brain fog, mood swings, or trouble focusing. Antioxidant-rich foods like berries, dark leafy greens, and herbs can also help to protect our brain from stress and inflammation. Now, let's just talk about movement as it relates to brain health. Movement is not just good for our bodies, it's also good for our brains as well. When we move, our bodies release something called brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF, and this helps with memory, it helps with learning, and it also helps with just overall brain resilience. And this does not mean that you need to hit the gym for an hour a day. It actually can just be simple things like we've talked about before, such as taking a brisk walk outside. It can be stretching in the morning. It can also be dancing in the kitchen while you're making dinner and doing that with your kids. All of these things are going to help your brain to recover and reset. So we've kind of talked about some things that are important for mental recovery. So let's talk about some simple habits that are going to help with mental recovery. We know now why it matters. So what can we actually do to help our brain to bounce back? So these are ways that I think are super practical, but also really friendly if you're a busy mom who's either a stay-at-home mom or you're working from home and you're with your kids all the time and it can feel really hard to take care of yourself. Okay, so number one is feed your gut, feed your brain. So our gut health is directly linked to our brain function. So probiotic foods like sauerkraut, yogurt, or kimchi, as well as fiber-rich foods like beans and vegetables can help to support a healthy gut and in turn a healthy brain. Another one is to get outside. Fresh air, sunlight, and nature have been shown to boost mood, reduce stress, and improve cognitive function. Even just going outside for 10 minutes in the morning can make a huge difference. We've talked in previous episodes about going out and looking at the sunrise in the morning as well, which can be great for setting your circadian rhythm. Number 3 is practice a growth mindset. This one I think can be a little bit more challenging, but I have found it's so important to, instead of coming against a hard situation and looking at the negative, looking at the areas for growth. So instead of thinking, I'm so overwhelmed by this situation, or I'm so overwhelmed with feeling like I can't take care of myself or eat healthy or whatever the thing is, try shifting that to instead saying, I'm learning to manage my energy better, or I'm learning to do this thing better. I'm figuring out ways that will work for me. The simple shift really can help you to feel more in control of your mental recovery. Number 4 is going to be to eliminate decision fatigue. And we are going to have an episode coming up talking a little bit more about decision fatigue whenever it comes to taking care of our bodies and our health. But have you ever stood in front of your pantry trying to figure out what to make for dinner, and then you just felt totally stuck? To me, too many decisions drain our space and our mental energy. So simple solutions for that, like meal planning, daily routines, and just decluttering our space, can really give us a lot of brain power to focus on more important things. And like I said, we'll dive in a little bit deeper on an episode coming up on that. Okay, number 5 is to break up your focus time. So this one is something that I've really had to implement with myself as I am at home with my kids and also working from home, is learning when I've hit my limit. Our brains are not meant to focus for hours at a time. So try the Pomodoro method, which is to work for 25 minutes and then take a 5-minute break. This can really help to prevent mental burnout and can also help keep your mind functioning well and just keep your brain sharp. Number 6 is to prioritize sleep. I know this is easier said than done as a mom, but even small changes like dimming the lights an hour before bed, cutting back on screen time, also limiting your caffeine intake after a certain time of day, and creating a simple bedtime routine can improve sleep quality, which is crucial for mental recovery. So to wrap this up, let's just remember that taking care of our brains is not a luxury. It is a necessity. So you deserve to feel clear-headed, calm, and capable. And the best part, you don't have to overhaul your life to get there. Small, simple changes are going to add up over time, like we always say. So which of these habits are you going to try this week? Send me a message over on Instagram, or you can email me and let's just chat about it. And if you have found this episode helpful, I would love it if you would share this with another mama who needs to know about how to incorporate mental recovery into their life as well. I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I'll see you back next time. Hey mama, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If so, would you take 30 seconds to share this with a friend who is wanting to live more holistically without the overwhelm? Also, don't forget to head over to Apple Podcasts to leave me a review. It blesses and encourages me to know that this show is helping you. All right, friends, it's time for me to go work in the garden and make some homemade bone broth. I will see you back next week.